If you're a man between 50 and 80 and you find in your mornings feel heavier than they used to, your energy dips before noon, your motivation feels distant, and your confidence just isn't where it used to be, I want you to lean in and hear this. You are not fading. And no, it's not just age. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott. I've been walking alongside older men for over 35 years, men who've built families, careers, and lives with strength and grit. And I can tell you this plain and clear. Most of the slowing down we chalk up to aging, it's not the years, it's the nutrients we're missing. Not pills, not testosterone shots, not some internet gimmick wrapped in a shiny label. It's food, real food. The kind your body recognizes like an old friend and is quietly begging you for. Today, I want to show you something that, frankly, most doctors don't even mention in their 10-minute checkups. 3 simple vegetables. That's it. But when used right, morning, noon, and night, they can reignite your energy, sharpen your thinking, and gently restore that quiet strength you remember. One boosts blood flow so naturally, some of my colleagues have jokingly call it nature's Viagra. Another helps your testosterone find its way back without any scary side effects. And the third gives you steady, crash-free energy that doesn't leave you napping through your own life. But here's the real secret. It's not just what they are, it's how you use them. Consistently, rhythmically, with purpose. That's what I call the vegetable protocol. And in just 7 days, I've seen men who thought their best days were behind them walk back into my clinic with a fire in their eyes again. If you've ever whispered to yourself, "This isn't me," if you've ever missed feeling strong, clear, or close, then stay with me, because by the end of this video, you won't just know what to eat. You'll know how to take your strength back, one simple step at a time. Let's begin.
1. Vegetable number 1. The circulation booster. Beets. Your blood flow isn't just about performance. It's about staying alive where it matters most. When I think about the starting point for restoring a man's vitality, it's not hormones, it's not muscles, it's circulation. Because once your blood stops flowing well, everything else begins to falter. Your energy, your memory, even your connection to the people you love. Let me take you back to a man named Gerald. He was 64 when he first walked into my clinic. A builder by trade, rough hands, strong back, the kind of man who worked through pain without complaint. But that day, he sat down, looked me square in the eye, and said something that hit deep. "Doc, I just don't feel like a man anymore. The fire's gone." I hear that more than you'd imagine. And here's what I've learned after treating thousands of men over the years. When that inner fire starts to fade, most guys assume it's low testosterone. But more often, it's poor circulation. The blood simply isn't reaching where it needs to go, to the brain, the heart, the muscles, and yes, down there too. That's where one humble vegetable can change everything. No hype, no side effects, just a route you've walked past in the grocery store 1,000 times. Beets. Beets are one of nature's richest sources of natural nitrates. When you eat them, your body converts those compounds into nitric oxide, which acts like WD-40 for your blood vessels. It relaxes them, opens them, improves flow from head to toe. And when that happens, your heart doesn't have to fight so hard. Your muscles get the oxygen they've been starving for. And that quiet confidence, the kind that comes from real biological power, starts to return. I told Gerald to try something simple. Half a cup of cooked beets at lunch, or a small glass of beetroot juice in the morning. No meds, no big diet change, just that. 2 weeks later, he came back smiling. I'll never forget what he said. "Doc, whatever's in those things, my wife told me to thank you." And let me tell you, that story's not unique. Study after study backs this up. Beets can lower blood pressure, improve stamina, and enhance blood vessel function, especially in men over 60. And not just in the lab. I've seen it time and again in real life. You can roast them, boil them, blend them with a squeeze of lemon. However you take them, just start. 1 serving a day. That's your first vote toward a stronger, more energized version of yourself. Because when you improve circulation, you don't just move better, you live better. You walk farther, breathe easier, and yes, you show up for your partner in ways you thought were gone. This isn't about going back to your 20s. It's about reclaiming the man you still are, underneath the fatigue, the stiffness, the slow mornings. He's still there, waiting for the right signal. And sometimes that signal comes from something as simple as a beet.
2. Vegetable number 2 is the hormone helper, spinach. You don't need injections to reclaim the reg. Sometimes it just starts with a fork. A few years back, Martin came to see me. He was 68, quick-witted, thoughtful, always sharp in conversation. But that day, he looked dulled, like someone had turned down the volume on who he used to be. He sat down, took a breath, and said, "Doc, I'm not sad. I'm not even sick. I just feel like I'm fading. I wake up tired, I go through the motions, but the drive, the spark, is just not there." I see that look more often than I'd like. Men who still have so much to give, but feel like their inner flame is slowly going out. Here's what many don't realize. That slow fade isn't always just aging. It's often your testosterone quietly dipping below the line, not in a dramatic crash, but in a slow, invisible leak. And that leak changes everything. Now, I'm not talking about testosterone shots, gels, or hormone clinics trying to sell you a second youth. I'm talking about your body's own natural rhythm, gently restored with the right signal, a signal that starts with your plate. And one of the most powerful signals you can give it? Spinach. Yes, the same leafy green we used to push aside as kids. It turns out Popeye might have been onto something after all. Spinach is rich in magnesium, a mineral many older men are dangerously low in. And magnesium plays a crucial role in freeing up bound testosterone, allowing your body to access and use the hormone you already have. Think of it like this. Your testosterone might still be there. It's just locked in a vault. Magnesium is the key. And that's not all. Spinach also contains folate, which supports your blood and nervous system. Plant-based nitrates, which boost circulation, especially when paired with beets. Antioxidants and fiber to reduce inflammation and support prostate health. I told Martin what I'll tell you. Don't overthink it. Just start with 1 cup of cooked spinach a day. Stir it into eggs, toss it in a pan with garlic and olive oil, or even blend it into a smoothie if you're not a fan of the texture. He raised an eyebrow. That's it? I nodded. That's it, but do it every day. Give your body the nutrients it's been missing, and it'll remember what strength feels like. 3 weeks later, Martin came back. Eyes brighter, shoulders straighter. "Doc, I've been sleeping better. I'm walking more. I even caught myself flirting with my wife, and she laughed like it was 1985 again." That's the power of nourishment. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It's consistent, quietly rebuilding what you thought was lost, day by day, cell by cell. Because here's the truth no one tells you. You don't need to fear aging. You need to fuel it. And spinach is not just a salad base. It's a foundation for better mood, deeper sleep, clearer thinking, and yes, a sense of self that feels strong, steady, and alive again.
3. Vegetable number 3, the endurance engine, sweet potato. When your energy crashes, your whole world shrinks. Let's change that. Charles was 71 when he first came to see me, a retired firefighter, strong, stoic, sharp, the kind of man who'd never call something exhausting unless it truly was. He sat across from me, leaned in a bit, and said, "Doc, I'm not tired because I'm lazy. I'm tired because no matter what I do, I just can't get my energy back." Sound familiar? It should, because what Charles was describing is one of the most common complaints I hear from older men. Not just physical fatigue, but that deeper drag, the kind that weighs down your mood, your focus, your relationships, your sense of self. And while many assume that kind of tiredness is just part of getting older, I want to tell you something different. Most of the time, it's your blood sugar. Not diabetes necessarily, but subtle shifts in glucose regulation that start to appear after 60, and they mess with everything. You feel fine after breakfast, then, around 2 p.m., you crash. You get irritable, foggy, sluggish, and suddenly, the rest of the day feels like a hill you weren't ready to climb. That's where our next hero comes in. Not a supplement, not a stimulant, just one humble golden root. Sweet potato. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Aren't carbs bad, Doc? Not this one. Sweet potatoes are a low glycemic, slow-burning carbohydrate that delivers steady, crash-free fuel to your body. No blood sugar spike, no afternoon slump. Just a slow-release power source your brain, heart, and muscles love. They're also loaded with potassium, more than a banana, which supports heart rhythm, fluid balance, and muscle recovery. Fiber, which helps keep digestion smooth and glucose steady, and vitamin A, manganese, and antioxidants that fight inflammation and support cellular repair. I told Charles, roast one small sweet potato. Add a dash of olive oil and sea salt. Have it with lunch or dinner. That's it. He nodded skeptically, but to his credit, he did it. 2 weeks later, he returned and said, "Doc, I don't nap anymore. I started fixing stuff around the house again. My wife, she's suspicious, thinks I'm up to something." That's what real nourishment can do. Because your body, it's not asking for less food. It's asking for better fuel. Fuel that burns clean, lasts longer, and doesn't leave you wiped out by mid-afternoon. Sweet potatoes fill that tank. They support your stamina, your mood, and even your libido by keeping your energy from crashing when you need it most. So if you've been running on fumes lately, before you reach for another cup of coffee or a nap that doesn't help, try this instead. One roasted sweet potato once a day. Sometimes it's the simple shifts that unlock the strength you forgot you still had.
4. The vegetable protocol, a daily rhythm for strength and stamina. You don't need more effort, you need better rhythm. By the time a man walks into my office saying, "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore," what he's really asking is, where do I even start? And I get it. At this age, we've seen enough gimmicks to fill a landfill. And we've been told so many mixed messages. Cut this, add that, avoid that, try this miracle, that it's easy to feel lost before you've even begun. But after 35 years of walking alongside older men, I've learned something simple and powerful. Your body doesn't need complicated.
it needs consistent. That's why I created something called the vegetable protocol. Not a diet, not a restriction, just a simple daily rhythm that gives your body exactly what it needs, exactly when it needs it, using the 3 vegetables we've just talked about. Let me walk you through it. It takes no pills, no counting calories, no measuring rams, just a few intentional choices made each day. Morning, flip the switch. Start your day with either a small glass of beetroot juice or half a cup of cooked beets. Why? Because circulation is your foundation. You need to get the blood flowing first thing to your brain, your heart, your muscles. Think of it like turning on the power grid inside your body. Men often tell me they feel more alert, more with it, and even more energized within days. Midday, fuel the fire. With your lunch, include 1 full cup of cooked spinach. Stir it into an omelet, saute it with garlic, or add it to your protein bowl. This isn't about taste, it's about reclaiming your hormonal foundation. Spinach gives you magnesium and folate, which help unlock natural testosterone and support your nervous system. The result? More clarity, steadier emotions, and the quiet return of motivation you thought was gone for good. Evening, sustain the burn. At dinner, enjoy half a roasted sweet potato. This is your endurance food. Sweet potatoes stabilize your blood sugar and give you the long burn energy your body craves to prevent that 3 p.m. crash and even those 2 a.m. wake-ups. They support your muscles, your sleep, and your mood, and help you end the day with strength, not fatigue. Now, why does this work? Because it's not just about the nutrients, it's about the timing. Morning supports blood flow. Midday supports hormones. Evening supports energy regulation and recovery. Each part complements the next, like a symphony, not a solo. And when you keep showing up for your body with this rhythm, it starts showing up for you, not in months, but in days. In fact, most men in my clinic feel a shift by day 7. Clearer thoughts, a spring in their step, less stiffness, more interest in life, in living. And over time, that momentum builds. I've seen men in their 70s start hiking again, dancing again, saying yes to intimacy, fixing things around the house, laughing more, even standing taller. Not because they reversed aging, but because they stopped starving the body they still live in. That's the quiet power of the vegetable protocol. No hype, no pressure, just a way of living that gives your strength a way back. So if you've been asking yourself, can I really feel better again? The answer is yes, and it starts with what's on your plate.
Conclusion: the fire isn't gone, it's waiting. You don't need a new body, you need to believe yours still remembers how to burn. I've been doing this work for over 30 years. I've sat across from CEOs and truck drivers, war veterans and grandfathers, men who once ran companies, ran cattle, or ran after grandkids. But no matter their story, they often say the same thing. Doc, I just don't feel like me anymore. Not because of pain, not even desire, but because something inside feels dimmed. And here's what I always tell them. You are not broken. You're not past your prime. You're not too old to change. Your body hasn't quit. It's waiting for the right rhythm, the right fuel, the right signal. And when it gets those things, it responds. That's why we talked about this protocol. Not because beets and spinach or sweet potatoes are trendy, but because they work. They support your circulation, your hormones, your stamina. They help you feel like yourself again. Clearer, stronger, more steady. And no, this isn't about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming ownership of the life you still have. It's about standing taller, not because you're younger, but because you're restored. So start small. A cup of spinach, half a sweet potato, a glass of beet juice. Each one is a vote for the man you still are. A daily act of respect for your body. Not punishment, not restriction, but support. And if no one said this lately, you're not invisible. You're not finished. You're just getting started. Let's walk this together. One plate, one breath, one steady, grounded day at a time. If this message spoke to you, leave a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. Or share this with another man who needs to be reminded the fire isn't gone, it's waiting.